Morning, welcome students. Today we're gonna go over this practice assessment on sequence. Right, this is the exactly same format. Right, you will be given one arithmetic sequence, one geometric sequence, and then you'll be asked about a specific year, and then you will be asked about the specific total amount after this number of years. And then for the excellent question, you have to figure out which option you need to go with for which particular year. Let's see this. And then on the top, you have these formulas. You just have to know how to use these formulas. Right? You'll be given these formulas in the assessment. Now let's say Carol, right? Option one, 10,000, 9,700, 9,400. What type of sequence is option one? Option one is called arithmetic sequence. How do I know that? Because if I write down the numbers, right? So this is a table, right? Year one, year two, year three. Year one, you have 10,000. Year two, you have 9,700. Year three, you have 9,400. The interesting thing is you are decreasing it by 300, right? Every time it's addition or subtraction, adding or minusing. This is called arithmetic sequence. And you need to use the formula from here, right? Okay, now this S means sum, means adding up, right? This T means a specific year. So question one is actually asking you on the 8th year. On a particular year, this is a term question. So we're asking to figure out 8th term, right? So we need to use this formula. Okay, I hope you still remember what A is, what N is, what is 1 is, what is D is, right? So we just apply the formula. Okay, so let's copy down the formula. So you write like this. T8, we're figuring out the 8th term, which means the 8th year. A plus n minus 1d. Okay, I'll just write down the formula, right? Right? And then for this case, we are actually figuring T8 equals A means the first term. The first term is obviously 10,000 plus 8 minus 1 times D. What is D? D is the difference, which is negative 300. Make sure you know the difference is signed, means it can be positive or it can be negative, depending on the context. If it increases, it's positive. If it decreases, it's negative. Right? And this equals, if you press the calculator, this will be 7,900. Right? You cannot, by listing out 8 numbers and say this is 7,900, you must apply the formula in order to get achieved. Okay? Now, this is question one. As in all of the NCA assessment, you have to explain this. That means in 8th year, Carol will have $7,900. Right? I hope this makes sense. I'm going to make 7,000 investment. Okay, now this is then let's consider option 2. Option 2 is a what type of sequence? 100 now, 300 next year, 900 after. So this is called a geometric sequence, right? So is year 1 is 100, year 2 is 300, year 3 is 900. So obviously, well, not obviously, but it seems that you're timesing it by 3. Every time you're multiplying or dividing, this is a geometric sequence context, right? For geometric sequence, which formulas we are focusing? We are focusing on this column, right? Okay. Now, here we are trying to calculate t. Just copy down the formula. This Tn equals ar to the power of n minus 1. Okay, what this actually means, we are figuring out the 8th year, so we actually figure out T8 equals, what's A? A is the first term, which is 100, times R. R is by how much we are multiplying, right? So is we call this is the ratio. We call the times 3, we call it ratio. R is ratio, right? So 3 to the power of n minus 1. We figure out 8. So 8 minus 1. Okay, so if you press the calculator, let me just say this is 100 times the 3 to the power of 7. 100 times 3 to the power of 7 is 218700, right? So this means in 8th year, Carol will make $21,870 investment. Okay, now up to here you get achieved, right? Well, no. You only figure out the term, right? But then you also need to apply the sum formula. Okay, so you have to finish the question 2 as well. Question 2, what is the total amount of money she's going to make after 8 years, right? So that means you have to add up year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, year 6, year 7, year 8, right? But you cannot do it directly by using a table. You have to use a formula. So for option 1, uh, you have to actually use the sum formula. I'm copying down the sum formula. Right, the sum formula is as n equals n divided by 2 multiplied by a plus l. Now, you can either apply the top one or the bottom one. I personally prefer the bottom one, right? Because you most also often need to use the bottom one, plus n minus 1d. Yep, that's the bottom one. Okay, they are the same, right? They are the same, right? Most often you don't need to know the first one, right? Just the bottom one. Okay, and now let's substitute. We are actually figuring out the sum until the 8th year, right? Equals to 8 divided by 2, right? Times 2 times 10,000 plus 8 minus 1 times the difference, which is negative 300, right? Now, if you press the calculator, you should know This is 4 times. This is 2 times. Plus 7 minus 21,000. 2,100 is 71,600. Right? And then similarly, we have to calculate the sum for the geometric sequence. Now we use this as a sum, right? So we copy down the formula for now. Sn equals A and then A multiplied by 1 minus r to the power of n. Okay, now we substitute. A is the first term, which is 100. Right, 100 times by 1 minus r is the ratio, means 3 to the power of 8. Right, divided by 1 minus 3. Okay, the formula looks very weird, but it's correct. So we are figuring out S8. Okay, so if you press the calculator, this is 100 times 1 minus 3 to the power of 8 divided by 1 minus 3. That's 328,000. 328,000. Okay, so obviously the second one is larger. Okay, so this is this means the sum of first 8 years investment is $1,600. Here the sum of first 8 years investment is 3. Right, now so this is the second question. So now up to here I think you get achieved or merit. Now question 3 is the excellence question. You have to make a table. You have to make a table. Now it asks you make a general recommendation for to go with, right? And there's always such a question. You have to make a table on the different sums, right? So that means the table looks like this. I'll just type it. Option 1. Option 1, option 2. Number of years. Able insert. Okay, so you must have year 1, year 2, year 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, you must make a list of tables of option 1 and option 2. And in each entry, you're calculating the sum. You're calculating the sum up to that year. Right, so that means option 1, you have to calculate S1. S1 is obviously 10,000, right? Because it's actually only one value to add. I think this is very obvious. You don't have to apply the formula. This is 100. And up to here, you see this is larger than this, right? But as it proceeds to later on, right? So you will see the values will change. Now let's calculate S2. Starting from X2, you can start substituting values. Right? So this is 2 divided by 2. I'm applying this formula here. Okay, to make it clear, I'll just write this formula down here. Okay. Okay. Multiply by 2 times 10,000 plus 2 minus 1 times the difference is negative 300 equals. Okay, so it's a very long formula. Now this S2 equals A is 100. 1 minus ratio to the power of 2 divided by 1 minus 3. Okay, you just go on to calculate these, and it just gets a little bit tedious here, and then you will see the difference, right? So I'm just changing the numbers. This is no longer 2, this is 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, 5, 5, 5. Okay, and here is the same thing. 3, 3, 4, 4. And here you change it to 5 and 5. Okay, I'm just illustrating. You only have to show calculation for one, and the rest you don't have to write it this long. You can directly calculate the numbers and fill it in the table. I'm just illustrating you all the formulas, right? So let's just take a calculation. If you press the calculator, this will give you, okay, so let's just do this, right? Year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So this is option 1, this is option 2. Now I'm just entering the formula. This is equals, right, so starting from divided by 2 times by 2 times plus minus 1 times negative 300. Okay, now just dragging it down. Okay, you press the calculator, it's the same thing, right? Now this one is equals to A1 100 times 1 minus 3 to the power of n divided by 1 minus 3. Okay, again, you just, okay. Now, I'll just copy down the values. This is 10,000. 19700. And this is 400. Let's first make sense of this number, right? 19700, you have to always verify, right? The first year is 10,000. Second year is 7,700. You add these two up. Of course, it's at the second year you're gonna have 19,700, and this the first year is 100, second year is 300. Adding these up, so at the end of the second year you will have a total of 400. Okay, and then you just continue. This is 29100, and this is 38200, and this is 47000, right? And then this is 1300, this is 4000, and this is 12100, and lastly year 6. I'll just directly write down the number as 55500 and 3640, right? And then you just continue on to years 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You might have to go a little bit further, but not a lot further. Okay, so you will say you only have to go up to year 7. How do I know that? Let me copy down the value, and then you will see 63700, and this is 109300. Okay, now why do I stop here? You see the sum. This sum is always larger than option 2. Option 1 is larger than option 2. Option 1 is larger than option 2. Option 1 larger than option 2. Option 1 larger than option 2. Even up to year 6, option 1 is larger than option 2. But until year 7, there is a crossover, which means option 1 is less than option 2. Okay? And you can stop here because you know the trend, right? Option 2 will get larger and larger because every time is multiplied by 3, right? And this one is decreasing. So then you can make a recommendation. So based on the table above, for 7 years or less, for 6 years or less, Carol can choose option 1, right? Because it gives you higher investment. Okay, but after 6 years, right? This meaning 7 years or more, then Carol's best choice is option 2, right? I hope this makes some sense. And then if you have finished up to this point, you get excellence, right? Okay. If you have any questions, please let me know, right? I will send you the solution and this video to you all together, right? See ya.